Bon Natale, my magical friends, and welcome to our magical art studio, where today we are hearing a special story about La Befana, the Christmas witch. That's right. Witches aren't just around during Halloween. In Italy, La Befana comes to visit the nice children who have been good all year long and deliver presents just like Santa Claus. But instead of Christmas Eve, she comes on the evening of January 5th and the day of January 6th, which is the Epiphany. In addition to learning all about La Befana, this mysterious Christmas witch, we're also going to share a super awesome recipe of a drink that you can make to help celebrate this special occasion. And we're also going to learn how to make a special gift or a special craft that you can use to also dedicate or celebrate La Befana on your own. All of the recipes and a lot of the ideas and stories come from this amazing book called Once Around the Sun. This book was written by Ellen Everett Hopman. So let's dive in and find out more about this amazing Christmas witch. And here she is. Hi, La Befana. That's right. In Italy, children not only get a special visit from St. Nicholas on Christmas Eve, but later on they also get to receive presents from La Befana. And we're going to talk all about their traditions, the origins of this story, and how they celebrate, and also how you can have your own little La Befana celebration of your own. Italy is a very religious country. Even the Pope, the leader of the Catholic Church, lives in Rome. The word Natale means day of the birth, which helps the people remember the importance of the birth of baby Jesus in Christianity. At midnight on Christmas Eve in every Catholic church, a special Christmas Mass is held. And then, of course, St. Nicholas or St. Nick comes to visit the children and deliver his gifts. But the festivities do not end there. No. In Italy, La Befana, the Christmas witch, comes after the New Year on January 6th. And she also delivers presents, and she's known as a symbol of happiness, just as the three kings who brought the gifts to baby Jesus did on the night of the Epiphany. That's where the story began in Christianity. But La Befana, actually, the origins date way back, even before Christianity. All the way back to ancient Rome. Befana is actually the heir to a Roman goddess named Strenua, who presided over the New Year gifts. And she derived her name, Befana, from Strenua. Her presents were the same description as those of La Befana. But in Rome, she would deliver things like dates and honey and figs. There was also a festival that honored the goddess Strenua, which took place on January 1st, which is the New Year. So, of course, Strenua is much older than Christianity. Pretty amazing, huh? Oh, here we are at the home of La Befana. Oh my goodness. Shh, I think she's sleeping. We better whisper this very quietly. It was the winter solstice, the darkest moon on the darkest night, at the darkest time of the year. And La Befana, who was still asleep in her high mountain refuge, stirred, rolling over to make herself more comfortable on her large feather bed. As she moved, a few of the white feathers billowed out from her pillows, and they sailed out the window, turning into large, lazy snowflakes that rode the mountain winds and slowly drifted down into the village below. The next time she turned over, the day was dawning, and the very first fingers of New Year's sunlight illuminated the crags of her mountain home. She was dreaming and remembering of the days of long ago when she was still revered as a goddess in Rome. She had been known as Strenua, the goddess who made people active and strong, and she was the bringer of good health, purification, drinks, gifts, and she even had her own temple at the head of the Via Sacra, the Romans' road. The fragrant sacred bay world tree grew within her temple precinct, and on her feast day on January 1st, people would exchange bunches of bay laurel leaves bound with thread, and each twig bearing exactly 7 leads. They also gave each other gifts of figs, dates, honey, and coins to carry sweetness into the new year. The twigs came from her sacred grove, which celebrates a grand procession from her shrine into the city to bless and purify the inhabitants. So there is Befana dreaming of when she was a Roman goddess, long before Christianity. One day after the winter solstice, La Befana finally opened her eyes to a ray of sunlight that had pierced the windows and the shadows on the mountain and prodded her awake. She yawned and stretched and then slowly rolled out of bed. She knew it was time to perform her divine duties just as she had for thousands of years, bringing joy, strength, and purification to every home. She began to assemble all of her gifts to deliver on the eve of her special day. The very first home she visited was always the house of the 3 children, Niccolo, Matteo, and Lucia. They now lived in the little village below. Even though they didn't realize it, their little stone hut was perched right beside La Befana's home on the mountain. The children were trying very hard to be good because they knew but La Befana would soon be on her way. Then the last thing that they wanted to receive was a piece of coal or an onion or a bulb of garlic in their stocking. That had happened to their cousin Paulo the year before because he kept forgetting to feed the dog, and he even cut the tip off of his sister's pigtail while she was sleeping. What a mean thing to do. Good children always got oranges, chocolates, and nice clothes. So this year, everyone was trying very hard to behave. On the day before La Befana's arrival, their mother was always busy making a traditional cake and washing fruits and soaking sweet chestnuts to put into the dishes for the feast. That night, their father and uncles gathered a great pile of wood to make a bonfire for the celebration. They knew that La Befana was magic, and her magic was especially associated with the hearth and fire. As a winter spirit, La Befana would bless the fire and travel upward through the flames, taking the old year with her, renewing it and transforming it into a new year below. That evening, Lana, the children's grandmother, went to the well at the edge of town. She knew that the water gathered on that night had special magical properties. Moon water, and it would protect the house and family from harm all year round. For the family, La Befana was a fairy, a witch, a wise woman, and a great magician, all rolled into one. She traveled on a magical scopazo, or a broom made with ash wood and birch twigs, which she kept in close contact with the trees and other nature spirits of the wild. When La Befana was around, it was a good time to do divinations. For example, a sprig of sedum, which is a stone crop, could be left on a windowsill overnight. If it was perky and fresh the next day, it meant a new year full of wealth and happiness. If it was wilted and limp in the morning, that meant your luck was running out. Oh, Nana did her divinations with flour. While making bread, she would scoop out a pile of flour and make a well in the center of the batter before adding the water and eggs. She could see images in the floury well when she poured in the liquid. It was also a fine time to tell stories around the fire, such as how La Befana, a wise woman, taught the people to be civilized, especially when she enforced the rules of good behavior in children. A little La Befana doll hung on the family's Yule tree. She was dressed in a black dress and a shawl, so that the soot that she collected on her way down the chimney wouldn't show. La Befana was also known to ride a magical donkey, so a little donkey ornament hung beside her. Nana placed a plate of food and a glass of wine by the hearth as an offering to refresh La Befana when she came down the chimney. Just like the milk and cookies that Santa gets, right? They also included a sprig of spearmint, bread, and cheese. La Befana would not actually eat the food, but she would absorb its essence that would strengthen her for the night-long journey. It made her very happy to receive these refreshments because it reminded her of the gifts people used to bring her in her ancient Roman temple. Nana placed a new broom near the hearth in hopes that La Befana would bless it and sweep the floor before she left, clearing away the old year and bringing in the new. Late that night, as the children slept, did La Befana visit? Yes. And the grown-ups sipped grappa by the fire outside. La Befana did come, invisible to everyone except the family cat. Because family cats can see all the fairies and spirits that enter your home, right? She blew on the new broom to bless it so that it would purify the house all year long. Then she touched and she blessed each gift, each piece of candy, and put out all of the gifts for the children to ensure their health, happiness, and their protection for the new year. And that year, even Paolo got the gifts that he wanted. He really must have been a good boy, huh? I really hope you enjoyed that tale as much as I did. The legend is so magical and so memorable. So, if you would like to create a little magic of your own, I am going to show you how you can make your own Befana tea to celebrate and drink on the night of the Epiphany when La Befana arrives, or even anytime during the new year to celebrate a new year and invite La Befana's spirit to come in and bless your home and you for the new year. To make this delicious tea, all you need are 4 to 5 bay laurel leaves, dried work the best, 1 cinnamon stick or 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, then any type of milk that you like. I actually made mine with coconut milk. I love coconut milk. The steps to make this tea are, first, you get a pot of water and you want to combine your bay laurel leaves with the cinnamon in the pot with 4 cups of water. You bring that to a boil and then you reduce the heat to a simmer and you basically let that simmer for about 20 minutes, just depending on how strong you like your tea as well. Then you strain out the herbs and you can add the milk and honey as desired. And of course, if you need to add a little extra water, if it's too strong, you can do that as well. And then you can sip on your delicious tea on the night of the Epiphany or any time during the new year to welcome in La Befana's presence and her goodwill for the new year. The second way to celebrate is by making your own broom. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do this, and I really want to make a full-size broom, a magical broom called a besom. And in that case, you would go outside and gather sticks and twigs to make your full-size broom. But if you don't have time for that, or if you want to make a miniature version that you can use like to sweep off your desk, you can use a pencil or a cinnamon stick to make a kindness broom. Ta-da! Let's turn that down a little bit. Which is a really great story to check out as well. So the first option I'll show you with just the pencil. Here I am shaving it down. So it's just the wood. That is totally optional. You do not have to do that step if you do not want to. Then I'm cutting the felt, but honestly, straw or string or really anything would work. You don't have to necessarily use felt for this step. But after I cut the fringe, then I wrapped it around the bottom where the eraser is. I attached it with some tape, but you can also use hot glue or wire, anything that you want to attach it to the bottom. There's so many different possibilities for this project. It's just fun to make your own magical symbol of La Befana, and you can make lots of these and even give them away as gifts for the new year to celebrate and to show kindness, just like La Befana or Strenua. Then the second one, ooh, those delicious rosemary sticks. You could probably make this kindness broom and then even brew your own tea with it. Did I just come up with a great recipe? I think I did. So with that, I just want to say again, Bon Natale and Happy New Year. I hope that La Befana brings you all of the gifts that you wanted on the Epiphany and a bright and shiny new year full of joy, happiness, and blessings. Until next time, have a magical day.
Bye-bye.